Welcome on in, everybody. Tobin here with you. Just like old times, is it not? I'm actually not going to go. I'm going to drink tonight, but I'm going to just throw a little on ice. All right. We're going to be classy here tonight. We're not going to drink out of the bottle like a bunch of hooligans. It is the opening night. And I actually had a lot of fun tonight. I was happy basketball is back. Um, I mean the game was it was, first of all, this game felt like a marathon. It was I almost didn't know what to do with my hands in the early going of this game with the fast-paced nature of each side, but Miami, we had a Miami Orlando game that started 39-38, and just everybody being able to hit everything from everywhere. It was such a joy to watch. But I guess we'll work our way backwards to the fun because all too familiar, Miami loses to the Orlando Magic. Your final score tonight, 125-121. And it was not Paolo Banchero taking them home. It was not Franz Wagner taking them home. It was the big old muscles of Wendell Carter Jr. really lifting lifting Orlando in this game, and hits a couple of clutch free throws to put it out for good. He outmuscled Bam like he wasn't even there, and sinks his two free throws real clutch. He did not have a very good game overall. And then Carter Jr. just he showed up late there. He got a big putback off of a Bane missed three, and you're just like, man, this guy hasn't been there the entire time. Miami hit a huge drought in the midst of the fourth quarter, especially with the field goals. But yeah, it was a disappointing ending. There's two things that I take umbrage with. So, we get to a point where it's a real tussle back and forth. You started off the fourth in a really great way. I mean, you start off Norman Powell. I mean, first of all, what a Heat debut for him. Norman Powell today, he finishes with 28 points. He was 9 of 19, 4 of 8 from downtown, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Had 9 rebounds today, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block shot. He was a team high plus 12 today. He was an absolute demon. What a debut it was for Norman Powell. And really just, I mean, head down, go-to scorer. Just really, I think everybody was like, whoa, what a revelation this guy is. Plays physical. Even at the end there where Miami was still not quite out of it, they get a Norman Powell straight line dunk to the rim. And unfortunately, they could have gotten the stop, which they did. They got a miss. They just got out rebounded. They got out muscled. But in that fourth quarter, the Heat got off to a really great start, man. You got, Fontecchio was just an absolute demon. There's so many good things that happened in this game. It's just like unfortunate. You start the year, you lose to an in-state rival. You felt like it just felt a little all too familiar. Like last year, it's like, oh, you got him in position, but when you really need to come up with a place to put this game away, Miami couldn't do it. And there was just a couple of things that I don't understand with Erik Spoelstra. All right, I'm not. You guys know my deal. On road games, I will go listen to the sound usually after, unless something super controversial happens. But we get to a point, and look, two of his young bigs tonight in Kel'el Ware, who really was starting to find his groove. And you got to remember, this guy's 21 years old. He's young. You got him in these games. And we know in this matchup, you're going to face absolute giants against Orlando, okay? You got Paolo Banchero, you got Franz Wagner, both mooses. You got Wendell Carter, who, again, wasn't great, but he is a behemoth. And then you got two absolute pit bulls on in their backcourt with Bane and Suggs. And we know what the deal is. So about 8 minutes left. This was a pretty big swing play. I get why Spo was upset. But Da Silva, who was really good today off the bench for Orlando, gets a putback off of Patatse, tip out. He was able to beat Kalel where Spo got really pissed, calls timeout. It's a 6-point game. Instead of the Heat getting the ball up 8, there's about 8 minutes left. He comes back. He takes Ware out, of course, and he goes, bam, Simone, Wiggins, Drew Smith, and Jaime Jaquez Jr. Well, Fontecchio comes out, and he's just like unbelievable with hitting the shots. But Bam comes out, and he starts what pretty much was like the fourth quarter of disaster for the captain. He blew a runner, which was, I mean, his theme music today was the clank off the rim. And then he turned it over. And then Paolo Banchero takes that turnover, gets an and one. And that was like the start of the turn to the game. And that was really, really just disappointing. Bam then comes up with a positive play. It's a block on Bane, but Wiggins turns it over. The Heat also had trouble taking care of the basketball, and that really burned their ass. And I think if they look back on this game, you look back on the rebounding, it wouldn't have been a goal. I think they actually played them. They out-rebounded them today, 47-46. I think Miami got more attempts up today, but the points off turnovers today, 25 conceded by Miami to 16 in favor of Orlando. So that is that's definitely one of those things. But we get into Desmond Bane then hits a 3-ball. He has 21 points. He had a nice debut, and so Spo subs in Nico and Powell. And Miami starts off with a 24-second violation, so that starts ripping away. And Banchero gets to the rim, and he gets fouled. 5 minutes left, clutch game. Shout out to Anthony Chang. Love the bit, love the tweets. That's my guy. And then we really do get into like a free throw fest going back and forth. But Carter is going for a rebound, and Jovic fouls him. And Spo's like, you can just tell he's got no patience for the young guys not getting rebounds or not out muscling these guys. And he takes Nico out and he puts Jaime back in. Now, Jaime had a really good game today. Okay. I understand you want to go with the guys you trust. And really, it didn't burn Miami awfully today, but it is a game against Orlando, and Bam is the tallest guy out there again. And I'm just thinking to myself, all right, in a league where everybody's getting bigger, we're closing with Adebayo, Jaquez, Wiggins, Powell, and Davion Mitchell, which means that you got to have basically Jaime, for the most part, is on Wendell Carter because Bam is trying to stay on Banchero, and Wiggins is on Wagner. Although Bam really one of his only great plays today. He forced Wagner into a miss, and it luckily ended up with the Heat. Like bounced all over the place, and it just felt like every rebound that he got kind of was by chance and an awkward bounce. So the Heat, it was tied 115 apiece. Wagner gets a miss. The Heat get the rebound. Powell, he tries to get around Jalen Suggs. They call an offensive foul on Powell. Spo challenge it, unsuccessful. Don't really have an issue with the call. It was a bit of a weird move by Powell. I don't think it was an awful one. So, and I'm not gonna say that's the reason they lost. And the Heat, it's a bonus fest. Norman goes to the line. Banchero goes to the line. He's fouled. But the game really swung where Heat have a couple of fast break attempts. And they get one that was a second chance opportunity where Bam Adebayo has a chance to put it in. And he doesn't. And you're just like, oof, all right. That wasn't great. And Yeah, Norman Powell missed a shot. Bam got the rebound. He then missed the tip shot. Then Boncaro, Boncaro gets a miss. Wiggins gets the rebound, and then they come down the other end, and bam. They say that Wendell Carter blocked it. Maybe I missed a block on it, but he's not able to get the basket. And just didn't go up like strong. Like he had the head of steam, and like I don't know, just Carter just outplayed him physically this entire fourth quarter. It was tough, and it's tough. Like the there's nobody on the other end. Boncaro gets a dunk. It's 119, 116. Orlando. Wiggins comes back. He hits a 3-ball. You're like, whoop. All right, clutch. Jalen Suggs comes on the other end. He hits a nasty floater in the paint over, I think it was Powell and Jaime. Really clutch bucket from him. And then the Heat get a couple of looks for the lead. Wiggins shoots a 3, misses it. Jaquez comes up with the offensive rebound, finds Mitchell. He misses a 3. And then Desmond Bane gets the rebound. Bam, like a Tasmanian devil, like dives onto him. He's trying to get the ball. His heart was in the right place. But they call a foul on Bam. And mind you, they're in the entire quarter was like in the bonus. And Desmond Bane gets to go to the line and put them up 2 possessions. So you would have been better off. Like, Hart was in the right place, would have been better off just playing defense. There's 37 seconds left and, go get a stop rather than you're putting them up 2 possessions. Mention it, Norman Powell, he gets the dunk, and then Wendell Carter with the big offensive rebound. So that's where your game was decided. But yeah, 2 things that I'm have an issue with, and I understand untrained eye. Like, ultimately, Bam just kind of stunk up the joint in the fourth quarter, and everybody else came up with a play. But I just don't know how many matchups throughout this season when the league's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I know Spoelstra, you got to win in those moments. You got to win those moments. I know what he's going to say. I know the script, but I just don't know how we're going to learn anything or go anywhere. If you're going to have Bam Adebayo be responsible for stopping Wagner or Boncaro, I understand that strategy. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. You can't have him also be out here and he's got to out-rebound Wendell Carter. You have to have another big out there. You have to, okay? And respect, Jaime was awesome today. He played really, really well. But he's not like necessarily known as a defensive stalwart, and he's 6'6". Like, you're gonna make him in some mismatch. Like, I just don't understand that. I don't understand it. I can't believe we're sitting here. It felt, because here's the thing with me. A lot of this Heat game felt very, and I wonder if you guys feel the same way, but a lot of this Heat game felt very evolved, right? They were moving the ball. There was so much great movement, getting the ball down, guys looking for each other. Everybody seemed like they were buying into something new except for 2 guys, and then the faces of the franchise, Bam Adebayo and Erik Spoelstra. 2 of them. Because everybody else seems like they stuck to the plan. Move it fast, get the open shot. Yeah, they had some crazy things happen, like Fontecchio turning into Dirk Nowitzki for like a 4-minute stretch. That was pretty crazy. But for the most part, I thought there was a lot of great stuff. And I feel like the 2 guys who are the flag bearers of this thing, they blew it again in the fourth quarter. And this is Spo, like, you and Bam, you guys are the pillar of professionalism. You are the embodiments of Heat culture. And you guys continue to wet the bed in the fourth quarter. And greatest coach, maybe in the league, the head of Team USA, how can you not find a formula now going on a year to get your team to victory? And to the captain, everybody's buying in. This was your second half today from Bam. Okay? Couple of good defensive plays in there, I will give you. But ultimately in the end, like, it came down to a lot of guys going to the free throw line, so there wasn't like a lot of ISO stops. He had one on Wagner that really comes to mind. and that block on Bane early. So he had a couple stops. I understand this was there, but he was 4 for 13 today. Okay, and he finished with 15 points, 12 rebounds. But that free throw stuff where everybody was getting to the free throw line, everybody. This was his second half of this game. And he was 4 points, 8 rebounds, 1 turnover, 2 for 7. He was 0 for 5 in the fourth quarter. And he had 0 free throws. You're the max guy. I said this is a legacy season. And I'm not trying to get like overly crazy about the opening night. Okay. I saw a lot of good stuff today. That I really liked. I thought he had a very good first half. I thought that his aggression, he was getting Wendell Carter. It was like, here's the thing, like Wendell Carter first half, Bam Adebayo took his cookies. Like he looked great. But Carter won the war. Carter won the fourth quarter, and this is another game. Like I remember the one with Batadze last year where he was having trouble. And and so I don't know. There's two things that I got to look at. One, either he's got too much dirty work to do, but I feel like I'm giving an excuse there. But I do feel like he should be playing. You either got to play Ware or Kalel, or you got to either play Ware or Jovic. And I know Spo got pissed at both of them in the fourth quarter, but I'm sorry, dude. Science over lessons right now. You got to have somebody of stature. He can't be the tallest guy out there against Orlando. It's not a recipe to succeed the rest of the year. It's just not. And it's frustrating. It's annoying because I think a lot of the new guys did well. I thought Wiggins, solid ass game. Nolan Powell, awesome game. Davion Mitchell today. Man, what a game for off night. He was sensational today. 16 points, 12. It looked like a real point guard out there. He looked great. 2 steals, 1 block. He was tremendous. He was tremendous today. Wiggins was the only starters to be negative today were Wiggins, who was a minus 21. That really was like all of there was a bad stretch with the bench that he was out there alone. I feel like that was the majority of that. And then so I think that's a little overplayed for where he was. Like, for example, Fontecchio was cooking, and he finished a -9. I think he was part of that run where it just really got away from Miami. Yeah, but the bench overall tonight, like, really solid. Kalel didn't have a good first stint. His second stint was much, much better. And, yeah, I don't get it, dude. Pelle Larsson fouls McGee today. No impact in his season debut. Drew Smith was all right. Drew a charge. You knew he was pumped about that. But had some crafty steals, 5 assists. Curious to see how this affects. He had such a fast comeback. I'm curious how it affects his defense the rest of the way. But yeah, man, I it's a frustrating one. It's frustrating to kind of do the same story here all the time. And I said going into this year, I'm like, this is a legacy season for Bam. They're talking about Erik Reed's sitting here and he's saying, hey, he's on the Mount Rushmore. He is he could end up the number 2 all-time scorer by the end of the season. He's for sure getting his jersey retired one day. But, what is that legacy going to be? And, yeah, that was really a tough one. Really a tough one. Jaime Jaquez today. I do want to give him a shout out though, because like I was so. I was loud wrong, at least to start this first game. I'm loud wrong because I said Pella was going to outplay Jaime. Pella's going to get those minutes over Jaime. Immediately, Spo obviously loved Jaime's game because he trusted him going to him right away. He had some footwork today, dude. I mean, it looked good. He put the moves on Banchero one time. I was like, Jaime, dude, look at you. He was out and running. He had energy. Him and Davion, good connections on stuff. Really, really love that. Really love that from him. I thought Wiggins pretty solid, man. He got some tough buckets tonight, some good defensive plays. And then obviously hit, the clutchest shot for Miami in that fourth quarter. What did Miami finish with in the fourth quarter? I wish there was like a breakdown of the last 5 minutes on field goals, but Miami ultimately in the fourth. Let's see. Yeah, they both hit 10 shots. It's the free throws. Yeah. 13 free throws to 7. All right. Well, I'm going to be a grown-up about this. Look, frustrated for sure. I don't like losing to the Magic. Shout out to the Heat fans there. Heard the Let's Go Heat chants. I enjoyed the holy hell out of watching Norman Powell today. Nico, like I should go Jovic, dude. Need more today, dude. Need more. They that was came out, had a nice like first stint where the game was really flowing and playing kind of at that breakneck pace. He seemed to thrive in that. Game slowed down, not there. So yeah, I would say the tandem there in the front court, underwhelming today. Underwhelming for Nico and for Bam. So, but I do think that they are working on stuff. You can definitely see the offense working. I think Jaquez having a start like this. He took one 3-point attempt. I mean, really, like just got back to his bread and butter today. That looked great. Fontecchio, just a microwave. So cool. And I just thought, Davion was awesome today. I thought Davion Mitchell played a really, really great game. He just looked so in control. But yeah, 4 for 13 from Bam. Can't happen, dude. That's you can't. And then Spo like set and then Spo like I don't know, dude. I get it. You don't trust the young guys. You want that win, but I mean, how many? Because it's like I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm getting too wrapped up in this. This is supposed to be a gentlemanly recap. I'm sipping. I'm not sucking down shots. But yeah, dude. You gotta in a game like that. Maybe in another matchup where there's not so much size, but you gotta have for two things. One, just science, and two, like let's get these guys going, dude. Like if this season's gonna mean anything and you're gonna trust these guys, I don't know. How many times are you and Bam gonna ram your heads into the wall in this fourth quarter? Like it's right there for you guys. Clutch games, fourth quarter leads, continue to blow it. I don't know what's gonna take, but you guys, it needs to get fixed because as fun as there was, a lot of new fun, this was all too familiar at the end. So, happy Heat season, everybody. Ultimately, I am happy they are back. I enjoyed the holy hell out of tonight. I'm just frustrated at the end. I'm getting some stuff off my chest. Still love you guys. You're the best. But let's get it going already, dude. All right, 81 more to go.